Hello everyone, this is Nehal from Collegedunia, and here we have Mr. Dineshwar. He's the chairperson of Bangalore School of Design. Hello sir, very good morning. How are you sir?
Good morning. Fine, doing good. Hope you're all safe there at your end.
Yes sir, yes, and hope same for you sir.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Pushing it.
So today this conference is regarding Mr. Dineshwar sir's thoughts on education, as he has held this position for several years in this education domain, in interior design domain. So sir, I'll be starting with a set of questions, right? So are you ready, sir?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Fire along.
So the first question is, sir, you have held this key position in Education Institute, I guess, for a very long period of your career. What are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
The key factors which connect us to the sector of design education, one is to make sure that we are as practicing architects too. So we do run a practicing show for the last so many years, and that also helps us to give back to the students. So that's one of the major reasons we keep, as faculty to a lot of design colleges, and started our own college basically to give the students this immense need of industry-related teaching. So there is a kind of a gap between what students actually learn in college. So this having faculty which are more related towards industry, bringing the industry knowledge to them is one of the key factors which keeps us definitely going back to the students and giving them all that type of clarity and how the industry works, and really puts them on a very practical position for them to learn much better. That's one of the major reasons. And then again is to give them the required foundations, which is sort of needs to get back those roots of giving the students a strong foundation in the design education is something which we focus a lot on, and that is to be done to the students, because that's where they actually mold into good designers. So these are the major two factors which actually keeps us 24 hours connected with the students all along.
That's a great answer. Thank you for the answer. The second question coming up, sir. Being the chairperson of Bangalore School of Design, what is your philosophy of leadership, and how would you describe your leadership style?
Philosophy is something which is a big statement, but actually I'll tell you this. Okay, there's a nice kind of statement by one Mr. Hubbard. It's a nice one. It's like it's a wonderful statement. Actually, it's learn and work to become, not to acquire. Okay, so it's a beautiful statement. Learn and work to become somebody, not to acquire things. So if that's a kind of philosophy I have followed for long, and some of the sayings which we read almost every day, and one of the sayings which has really grasped us and put us kind of as a kind of an engine for us to teach our students. So that's the thing which we put across to a lot of students, is to grasp that immense knowledge, because it's when you become somebody is when you can then acquire whatever you want. So that thought process is so important. So that's a kind of philosophy, what you can say. So this is what we actually infuse to our students, the need to be someone, the need to be a professional, the need to be responsible, the need to be recognized. So once you are there, the rest will follow. That you don't need to immediately get into a career, immediately start saying I need to earn this many lakhs, and you don't need to do that actually, because I still believe that after an undergrad program, there is still a 2 years learning curve in the practical industry, where you can actually grasp so many things. So the quest of knowledge is something which we immensely follow in Bangalore School of Design, to make our students thrive on that knowledge. So once they start feeling that they are going to be great designers, and they're going to be creators, the creativity gets enhanced with this hunt for knowledge, and there you have it. Then they are on the right path. So that's what we do basically. So we look at them coming in with dreams, and we make sure we are there to sort of push them on their dreams. We infuse them with a lot of quality ideas and push them across.
That's great, sir. Thanks for the answer. So here comes the third question, sir. Being a chairman of this particular institute brings a lot of responsibilities on the table. So how do you strategize about the key programs and plans for the marketing and administration of your school?
Okay, so I will tell you one thing, Nihal. In our college, the best thing about our college, I'm telling you, one of the best things we still feel, and being associated with different colleges and universities which I've seen over the years, is we are one. When I say we are one, that means we are the management, we are the academics. And personally, being an architect and being in the practicing industry for the last, say, 27 years, and still having our firm which still practices live projects, we are ever aware of the need which is required from the students. So, and we are the management too. So it really helps us do things in tandem. That's one of the best things we have with us, which is a huge core strength for us. One of the best core strengths we have. How we strategize during our for the growth and for the growth of the college along with the students. It's not just the growth of the college. So for us and BST, it's a college which is basically started with passion. The whole word is passion. So that passion gets infused into the students too. So when we strategize something, it is for the students. So we do it based on the requirement of students' needs, more than what we need. That's one of the best things I think we can do. So our plans are programmed at least a month ahead. And since we are aware what is the academics coming up, what needs to be done for the students ahead, so we do plan a lot of design fest ahead. We have a lot of speakers coming in. So this is from the academic side of it. Now, marketing side of it, what we do is we are aware ahead what needs to be done for kind of discussions with prospective students. That's all done at least a month ahead in discussions with the faculty. And another nice aspect of what we do is we have a cohesive unit. So we all sit across the table. So the management team along with the academic team sits together for decision making. It is not just the management alone who just comes out with some thoughts. And then we don't even know what the academics are doing. Like I said, since we are part of the whole team, we make sure that everybody comes onto the table for these type of strategic decision makings. And we do it on a regular basis. Even now, since it's online also, we have a monthly online review meeting with the academics team, with our management, with the accounts. Everybody is together in this decision making. That really helps now. A huge take the decisions.
Yeah. Yes,
You
sir.
want to do the third one again?
Yeah, no, I have recorded it. So, yes, sir. So, I have understood with your answer that inclusion is very important when it comes to making strategies about institute with your answer.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yes.
That was the takeaway from this answer. Here comes the next question, sir. The education system in India and the other foreign countries are structured very differently. In your experience, what can be the inbound student gain from studying here in your institute or school?
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, the structure abroad is more organized towards industry education, because I have I've got a 1 week kind of a program which we did in Gothenburg, and it was amazing even to look at the way they're teaching. So we get that back. From New York, we got that back. So from Spain, we picked up a lot of this type of industry-related teaching. So that's one of the parameters at BSD. We are constantly trying to bridge between our learning and what's being done abroad. And definitely we are doing it quite successfully, I might add, because in the last 5 years, I'm seeing the kind of influx my students are garnering from what we teach them. I can see the changes from the first year, second year. So we have actually traveled to pick up such kind of a fusion, let's say, between what is done abroad to what we do in India. Indian education system is amazing. There's no doubt on that. The thing is, we have to give a little more structure, especially when it comes to design education, towards the industry related way it needs to be done, and also the kind of how the world has kind of become one. So the what kind of, let's say, the construction technology what is followed abroad, the kind of design parameters what is followed abroad needs to be brought to us, because our students are exposed to the world through the web, and they need that type of exposure. And in following in lines with that, we have actually partnered with Ecole Conte Paris, and we have a certain set curriculum from them where we give this dual degrees, and our professional diploma degrees are structured by these Ecole Conte University per se. So we have a dual degree where our students sort of get, let's the best of both worlds. We are trying to give them the best of both worlds. And we also, in line with that, we also have with us international professors on board. There's a famous architect called Giuseppe Morando, who's part of our education system. He's from Italy. So we are doing this type of, let's say, like I said, this is the kind of decision we take in our meetings where the academics come in with the management, and we put together is for the benefit of the students. So realistically, it is much required that this merger should happen between this type of education, and also thanks to the government, I think the new central government has come out with this new education policy too. It should be, it is sort of getting employed quite soon, and the parameters are working on towards it. The people are working towards it, the education board as such. So I think it is going to change the way education is going to be looked at in India, and giving it a more professional outlook and more industrial outlook. That is sort of happening. So we have started doing it, and we are looking at progressing in it in a very rapid way.
Okay, that was a great answer, sir. So the takeaway would be that your institute is open for implementation of different studying pattern from different countries as well, right? And not sticking to one.
Definitely, yes. Because the students need that exposure. It is a must that they have that exposure. That exposure gives them a lot of confidence too. You understand? So let's assume when they have this global meets, which is on webinar, and they're talking to some students in Spain, and if they are on par with that knowledge, then they can talk to them equals. What happens is when you don't have the knowledge is when you start keeping quiet. Generally, that's what certain students do. But we are doing that definitely.
Yes, sir. That's great, sir. So here comes the next question. So how does the curriculum at BSD ensure the best practice of industry?
Can you come again on that, please?
So how does the curriculum at BSD ensures the best practice of your industry?
Like I said, we are professionals who have turned into academicians. Actually, that is straight away, that's our curriculum. So right away we infuse a lot of professionalism into the design education, and we have a fantastic unique thing in our BSD. Right from start, I had made sure as a founder of my school, and since I've been teaching at various schools, one thing which I really see, which was picked up when I was in my travels abroad, is the need to have these students continuously tied with live existing projects ongoing in the world. So what happens is once a student comes on as an undergrad program, he immediately is exposed to the live world. So in Bangalore School of Design, we have this studio BSD where live projects happen. Okay, it's in the campus premises itself. So we have live projects going on. We have vendors coming in, having discussions. We have clients coming over and having discussions regarding their residential projects, regarding their commercial projects, regarding their interior. So what happens is students are allowed to come and interact with us in that discussions. It's an open forum we have. So let's assume there is a client discussion happening, and it's put across to the students board. So students can select and walk in and sit and listen to how we talk to the vendors. They sit and listen to us how we talk to the clients. They sit and listen how clients talk back to us. So that kind of exposure, it cannot be taught to be on a classroom. It cannot be done in a classroom. It has to be done live, and that's one of the best things we have in BSD. So we have a lot of students who have taken part in the designs, and they are allowed even to say, if let's assume there is a site visit happening, that is again put across onto the notice board and say such a site visit is happening, let's say in Panchanakuri site so and so. 5 people are allowed to roll in for this. So if 5 people register, and that day they can miss class and they can come in for that because this is class again. So that's the type of education where we have what gets imparted in Bangalore School of Design. That kind of practical exposure makes them, really apart from the rest of the students, which go through the standard rigmarole of going to class, coming back. So we really make sure we do this to them. They are allowed to come out of class and come into this type of trip to go see things. They are also allowed to come into the studios to be a part of the discussion with clients. So it's that openness, that kind of learning is something which really makes it wonderful for them.
Okay, so basically you are making them industry ready by inclining them towards the practical exposure, basically.
Yeah, man. Yes, definitely.
Okay,
that's available that's available within the campus.
Nice.
So that's something which they it's like coming into class and you have live projects going on.
So that's a great answer, sir. Next question would be, sir, is there any provision for students of different races and economy backgrounds in university?
There's nothing like that per se. We see students. What we see in student is passion. I'll tell you. See, a student comes into a college, any student, race, creed is not the criteria. We have gone through it. Any student comes in with some dreams, some passions, right? So to us, they're all students, So what we do is, what I have always told my academic team and even the management team too, is let them communicate in whichever language they feel comfortable. You understand? There is no forcing anybody to speak in English. There's no forcing anybody to speak in Hindi, Kannada. It doesn't make a difference. As long as he needs to get his design ideas across. He's going to be a creative person. So if he can communicate to his client tomorrow in a language comfortable to him, that's about it. So we don't, even in classrooms, if let's assume there is a discussion happening and somebody starts to explain their design or they explain their drawings in a language comfortable to him in Kannada, we sit and listen, we talk back in the same language to him. Because that's the first thing we do, is make them feel comfortable first. That's the most important thing. Because once we start saying, you have to speak in English, and immediately they just shut down. That's what will happen. So we have realized that over years of teaching. Let's say that's why experience counts a lot for us. So we have such qualified, experienced professionals who understand all these parameters prior to imparting knowledge to them. Okay. We do have a separate English classes going on, because finally what happens is, if this student tomorrow needs to build up in confidence and travel the world, he has to speak in one common language across the world. Right, like how we both are talking. So that will come over a period of time. But if I can make him comfortable first within the campus and make him feel that he belongs to us, and he belongs to this place, nothing more like that. So there is no economic background, there is no caste background. We don't even believe in that. We don't even ask these questions to them. And those all are similar.
Sorry to cut you there. Actually, the question was moreover to ask, there are different people coming from different background, as in financial stability and instability. So is there any kind of financial support provided to some of the students where you see that there is a lot of passion? I had an interview yesterday, and chairperson said that there are alumni who sponsor education for some students. So is there anything available for that sort of university?
Oh yes. We have two total full scholarships for such students. So what happens? They have to go through a recorded kind of let's say a test. Maybe they have 3 layers of tests which happens, and then if they clear that, again, there is no economic background. It's a passion which counts. So we do not have this we don't bring it to a level where you say you are so and so you are allowed to jump above the board. No, we believe in if that student is, we know tomorrow this student is going to shine, or from the initial that grind that person that student has got. We have 2 scholarships for every course. It's fully sponsored. Those 2 students.
That's great, sir.
Yeah, we do that. So, but we try to keep it for the economically weak. Yeah, we do that too. We go through their financials, their parents. We understand if there are. We actually did one for a student who passed out, and it did help. So we have another system where we even, we have a system where certain students are allowed to pay their fees, on a major breakup. It's not that two breakups. So they feel that they're not able to pay it in those first two installments, and they need another four. We definitely give them that leeway depending on their backgrounds. We do that. Definitely, we do that type of
That's
service to.
Yeah, thanks for the answer. Next question would be, sir, what do you think the university top priority over the next 10 years is?
The university, the university. See, the university, the Bangalore, I'm sure they have their own priorities they are working towards, because India is huge, right? India is massive. We can say what happens in Spain cannot happen here. It's so easy to say. We can look at abroad and say, wow, they're doing this. But we have so much, like you said, different culture backgrounds and stuff. So what we need to actually look at in the next, I would say even the next 5 years, is to sort of bring about more of let's say give them more expose them into a lot of different parameters in the education field, instead of putting them into one certain fixture. So I think that's what is most important in today's world. And I'm actually again and again talking about the world, because our students are going to go there, or compete with them. So the exposure, let's say if I'm a design student, so what I will take a call from what we do. So we learned over again in different periods. I wouldn't say, my student is doing, let's say, design. If he's creative, let's say in art, painting, we would encourage him to do that, So we even have a system where students can sit and play music. We let them do it. Let them sing, and maybe you understand what I'm saying. Let them be exposed to different parameters instead of making it a very rigmarole. Come to class, take your attendance, finish class, go. So they should be able to expose themselves to different parameters, and as a university, we should be able to give them those options. So when I come into a college, and if let's say I might be even good at sports, because if I play well, maybe I'll study well. That could happen too. So if I'm able to say, okay, guys, go play 3 days, go have fun, and it will enhance his senses to be a better student. So, right. This kind of exposure is quite required for our students ahead, is what I think a lot is. They need a lot of balance activity of a lot of other kind of education, just not the the kind of book education. So let's say if I'm going to be design, okay, you finish your design, you finish your data collections, you come and show me your concept sheets. I would look at so many other things. I would even want them to sit and watch, let's say, we have a Bharatanatyam dance. It's again a creative activity. Their senses get lit up when they see something else. So those type of combination, merging of different kind of educations or different kind of activities, which again educate you as a person, makes you a better, it gives you a better growth to a student. So that brings along more of a global education, which we have seen a lot abroad. Is you see students are taken, they are, they go in for, operas, they're exposed to that, they're exposed to so many other parameters. So taking all that into consideration, I think that's what we should be sort of doing to them, giving the students that, and also looking at a lot of giving quality staff to the students, because if you look at education per se, who actually teaches them? It's a faculty, correct? So it's a faculty which actually gives them, imparts that knowledge to them. So the faculty training should be that much more clearer and much more impactful to them. So over the period of years, if we can enhance that type of faculty, which again are exposed to further things, because the faculty even now what they're doing is they have enough, just the amount of time to come into college. Classes are done, they have hardly a lunch break, then again the next class they have to fill in the attendance, they have to fill in some maybe some parameters to write their marks and so, and then they're done for the day and they're back for the next day. So the faculty too needs that type of education. So if we can improve the quality of faculty here, I can then immediately they will immediately lift the education levels. So I think this is what needs to be done to in the coming years to bridge this gap, the gap, across the globe actually for us.
So
I hope I answered it rightly.
yes, yes, sir. So the next question was regarding the vision, and till now, as we had the conversation, I have clearly understood the vision. So I will be skipping that question totally, because I totally understand the vision is more of practical and world ready for your students, to make them ready for the industry while they are working or studying in your college.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So the next question, like, what do you like the people to know about the university that may not know till now about BSD? Let's talk particular about BSD.
What they do not know, basically, I mean,
Like a strength point where the students didn't know about it until they come into the school.
strength for us guys is I'm telling you, see, when to the students who come to us, okay, this is 2-3 points I can put, Akish, I can give it pointer wise for you.
Yeah.
Is we believe all students get into any college with a set of dreams. Okay, I mean, so they all, like all we did. We all went into a college. We all went to certain dreams. We all sometimes we went into a lot of expectations. All of us, you, me, everybody. I mean, so who have gone into college, have gone through undergrad degree. So what we do in ours, make sure that we nurture their dream. So we do, that nurturing is the most important thing. So that's something which is very, very, very importantly followed with us. The next thing we really give a lot of importance, which I don't know if people know, is we give a lot of importance to hiring the right faculty. So if I have the right faculty, I know my student is going to do well. I might have the best infrastructure. You understand? I might have acres and acres of land. So what?
Right.
If my faculty, who finally they're going to sit in a classroom, and if my faculty who's going to go into that classroom doesn't keep my student enthralled, doesn't keep my student, amazed, it doesn't keep my student, dream. You understand? If my faculty can do that, that's the best thing what I would want. So we put in a lot of effort to keep enhancing our faculty with a lot of discussions. We expose our faculty a lot of webinar programs which happen across the world. We expose them to designers across the world. We have one-to-one with our faculty. So what we do in our system, which is quite, again, is something which we have formulated, is keep teaching the faculty. That's something which is something we very seriously follow. Giving them different things both ways. We are actually right now, we have every 3 days once my staff goes through yoga programs. So they are doing that. So they do that. They're having fun. They laugh. They chat. In the evening they have one kind of comic chat show with my faculty. So my faculty is always positively enriched. That positivity falls back onto the students. That's something is, I don't know. We do it in a quite a different way. We are starting guitar classes for the faculty. So they learn. Yeah, it's something. So what happens is all creative things. So this falls back onto the students. That's something which I think in BSD is unique. I really think it's something which needs to be told to the world, to people across. It really is something different.
Yeah, that was a great initiative taken by this school for the faculties itself. Coming to the next question, sir, what are your suggestions that would like to give to the current youth and the aspiring students?
I mean, the youth of today are quite smart, guys. I'm telling you. I mean, I appreciate that, because when we guys studied, we didn't have so much exposure. So the best thing about students today is they are exposed to a lot of things simply with the internet and the mobile phones and all this stuff. What I would suggest to them is try to get a more relative use of these things. Just be aware that these are instruments to enhance your knowledge. They are not your whole and soul. So that is a kind of sad thing which we see, is they're almost 24 hours kind of chained to this kind of gizmos, what they call it, the phones and the iPads and stuff. I mean, if you guys can sort of balance that There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. Do a bit and definitely look at reading. It definitely helps you read a lot of read. Nothing like reading. I mean, it might be old school, but reading gives you that kind of focus, definitely, because yeah. So I see that missing in a lot of students. Again, we are trying to do that in our school also. So I would tell the students, you will need to focus, because in the end of the day, when you get to work, if you are able to focus and work, you will do it right. When your focus is lost, you will just do it just for doing it. So like I said at the start, be someone, everything else will follow. To be someone, you need to have certain kind of disciplines, like you will have discipline of time, discipline of uh, you know telling this is what I'm going to do in this many hours. So if you can get into that type of a discipline system, it really is really an amazing thing actually for today's students. And they are much smarter than us, and they are aware of so many things. I really appreciate the quantum of awareness towards health, which we didn't have those days. They are very health conscious. That's quite nice about them. They are aware of the news, because of the news which keeps coming to them 24 hours. They are aware of that. So there are a lot of positive things about these students, and they grasp things much faster because of the exposure. That is also excellent about them. So these are the few things which they really need to do. Is I would suggest just control your kind of usage on this kind of this kind of gizmos and phones and stuff, and read a lot. I think, guys, once you get back to reading, you will start your knowledge grows also much better.
That's great, sir. And yes, reading helps to focus, because I have just started reading recently. I have read my
Yeah.
first Ikigai. So it was a
Mhm.
great book, and I felt, digital detoxification happened for me for a few hours. So that was something really good, actually. So that's a great.
Yeah, reading helps. Yes.
Yes,
See, I'll tell you, when you read a novel, you are inside the novel. You
correct.
start imagining those things. If you actually look at reading, when you read a novel, which is a very nice habit to pick up. It's one of the best habits to pick up. Is you will imagine the story. The guy is what when you read, you are imagining, so that you are thinking. But the same thing which is put in a movie, you're just seeing. You don't even it doesn't even hit you to that level of what you are actually imagining, because you already it's there in front of you. You're just seeing that move, one fellow hitting somebody. I mean, it's visuals, but here your imagination, there's so much of difference.
Yeah, it's more like spoon feeding when you watch, basically.
Yep.
Right. So the next two questions were more focused on your plans, your university's plan for international students and all that stuff. And the other question was building a healthy relation with your students. But I guess during the conversation, you have answered both. Like already you have discussed the plans that you have an interaction with students of different countries. So that answered that. And also how you encourage your students to do different kind of stuff like singing, games and all that stuff, you said, to build a healthy relationship. And also
Yeah, definitely.
right. So would you like to add anything here?
I would, if what I have another thing to tell is we are coming up again. This is again for students across different fields. Is we are having a kind of a webinar dialogues which is happening. You can check it out on our website. So this is basically again totally a different type of education. It's not. It's even though it is let's say creative or creatively oriented for the students. It's got varied topics like how is Instagram to be done to the interior designer. It's as varied as that. Okay, so how you're going to photograph your work. So we have got professors and professionals across the world. We have already tied up. It's a series of webinar which starts from the 29th of this month. It's a dialogue. So it runs across 2 months. So we have about 8 different topics like this. How there is one topic which says life in a day for an interior designer. So there's an interior designer who's going to talk about it, how she gets up and what he's going to do and stuff like that. So we have got speakers all the way from Germany. We've got a speaker from Holland. We've got a speaker from Philippines. So we have tied up with all these people and trying to get them. And so what happens is our students here, it's across this webinar series open pan India. So what we're trying to do is expose these students to the outside professionals, not just the Indians. So what happens, he listens to somebody who's in Philippines talk about how creativity helps in his presentation. There's somebody who's going to talk and say, how if I'm good at if I'm good in Instagram, how do I put my work across that? How do I expose myself in the Instagram handles? It's things like that, which is required for today's kids. So we are looking at such varied kind of topics which we are planning to come across, which will be there from the 29th of this month. That will be good. And also, you guys can keep checking into our website, because we do a lot of different kind of activities. We have Design Fest, which happens. We're going to come out with a series of, award kind of competitions for the creative students from the 11th to 12th standard. We're going to start that now.
Okay.
It's going to be once in 2 weeks program where it will be a small reward, but what happens, it's again going to be different things. Maybe you take a picture and then identify 5 spots and show it across. I mean, we're working on that. So that is something which we're planning to do. Actually, we're doing it with the staff now. So that helps. You understand, the staff has fun doing it, and then we set it back to the students. So it's like that. So the thing what we do, guys, is in our colleges, we innovate and create every day. And that's the best thing we do. Instead of just being, let's say, stand still. We keep innovating every day. Whether we are online, it doesn't make a difference to us. We make sure students come on board. They want to get back to campus, but they're online because we give some fun activities. We have chat with them in a fun way. So that kind of creativity keeps Bangalore School of Design going, and that's where our process is to get that passion out and from us and put it across to them.
Right.
Yeah, that's about.
Thank you so much, sir. It was great talking with you. I have learned a lot today regarding this field, because it was very different for me as well, right? Coming from engineering background, understanding your perspective, it's totally great having a conversation with you. And I guess all the students who will be watching this conference would be really motivated if they are planning to pursue an education in this field. It's great having you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for getting me on board for the interview. They do appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much, Neil.
Thank you so much, sir.